The Packers travel to Soldier Field on Sunday to take on the Bears in another chapter of their historic rivalry. Neither team is likely to make the playoffs, with the Packers at 4-8 and the Bears sitting at 3-9. While there are so many games that are classics in this series, this probably won't be one of them. Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast. My name is Patrick Corrigan and I'm your host. You can find and follow me on Twitter at Packer Mentality. My podcasts are available on YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Please hit the subscribe button below if you are watching on YouTube. And as always, thank you for joining me. As some of you may have noticed, I have not posted my usual episodes this week. I do apologize for that. I do have a good reason. My mom passed away early this week, so I've been spending time with family and remembering her. On top of what she did for our family, she was also a high school coach of softball, volleyball, gymnastics, track, synchronized swimming, and swimming. She was also a fierce advocate of Title IX, so anyone who has enjoyed participating in women's sports over the past 40 years or so, my mom helped make that happen. But one of the things that defined her was that she was a huge Packers fan, just loved this team. When I would call her, we would always talk for a while about the last game or whatever was happening with the team. So I'm going to dedicate this one to her. Thanks, Mom. The story of this game appears to be defined by who is injured and will or will not play. So let's take a quick look at the injury report. For the Packers, ruled out already for Sunday, kind of the big news from yesterday, tackle David Bakhtiari had an emergency appendectomy. He is okay, out of surgery. Hopefully we'll be back sooner. Doubtful safety Darnell Savage, I do think he's already been ruled out. Questionable Devondre Campbell, linebacker, and Romeo Doubs, wide receiver. Hopeful that these two will be playing this week. Limited in practice. Aaron Rodgers' rib injury forced him out of the game on Sunday night, but looks like he'll be able to play, and we'll talk about this. Elevated from the practice squad for Sunday's game, safety Micah Abernathy and running back Patrick Taylor. For Chicago, placed on injured reserve this week, a couple big names for them. Eddie Jackson, safety, starting safety, and their number one wide receiver, Darnell Mooney. Ruled out for Sunday, Larry Borum, offensive lineman, Jaquan Brisker, their other starting safety, Kyler Gordon, one of their starting cornerbacks, and Trevor Siemian, who was their starting quarterback last week, but he is normally their second string quarterback. Questionable for Sunday, Riley Reef, offensive line, and Kendall Vildor, one of their defensive backs. Let's talk quickly about the Bears offense, because there is one person to talk about who I did not mention on the injury report, and that is quarterback Justin Fields. It appears that Fields will be playing on Sunday. He does have a shoulder injury, but with Trevor Siemian already out, the Bears are in dire straits at quarterback if Fields can't play. I believe his backup is now Nathan Peterman. The Bears did pick up former Packer backup Tim Boyle this week from the Lions. Boyle already knows the offense and should be able to get up to speed pretty quickly if they need him to. With Darnell Savage out, we'll see Rudy Ford at safety and most likely Keyshawn Nixon at nickel corner. These two did a pretty good job last week, and this is their chance to stake a claim to long-term spots on the Packers roster. Make the most of their opportunities, and honestly, I like what those two have done so far. Packers have one key this week on defense, and that is stop the Bears' running game. Can Joe Barry implement a scheme and coach up his guys and get them to execute? Your guess is as good as mine. The Bears' passing offense was already the worst in the league, and now they've lost their number one wide receiver. I don't see it improving. Fields has shown himself to be an elite runner with the ball in his hands. all the things the Packers defense did wrong last week, such as failing to get off blocks and missing tackles, that all needs to get corrected to keep Fields and running back David Montgomery under control. Real simple. Considering how poorly the defense has performed, in my opinion, the best Packers defensive plan in this game is going to be to have a fast starting offense. Get out to a big lead and force the Bears to throw the ball. How can the Packers do that? First, who is going to be available on offense? With Bakhtiari out, I expect rookie Zach Tom to get the nod at left tackle. He's been pretty solid in the snaps he's gotten over there early in the season. I am also hoping that Romeo Doubs makes his return this week after missing most of the past month with an ankle injury. In his absence, Christian Watson has been spectacular, but I want to see what this offense can do with both of them on the field together. Doubs was the best wide receiver on the team before his injury, even with his rookie mistakes. Aaron Rodgers says he'll be okay to play, but I hope they don't run the ultra-conservative offense featuring all those dump-off passes that they ran in the third quarter against the Eagles. They were just trying to protect him on those drives, and I don't want to see that offense again for this game. I want to see Green Bay's passing attack the ball, or attack down the field more with Doubs and Watson. If Rodgers can't do this because of his ribs, I'd rather see him sit out. Put Jordan Love in, let him sling the ball downfield. The Bears defense is decimated by injuries and trades that sent some of their best players to other teams. Both safeties and one of their starting corners are out for this game. And earlier in the season, they traded away their best pass rusher and their best linebacker. Packers should be able to run with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and the Packers offensive line, which has been getting better all season, should be able to protect Aaron Rodgers, even with Bakhtiari out. This is not a great pass rush. Pair that with a thin secondary, and this should be a good week for the Packers passing game. Will all of this lead to a Packers victory? It should, but they still have to execute. I'll be back after the game on Sunday with my thoughts. Until then, enjoy your weekend and go Pack Go.